Aren't you tired of boring and predictable podcasts? Remember the movie Groundhog Day? Ugh. The only thing predictable about this show is that we're guzzling booze. Count on it. This is the Appleboys podcast. Appleboys.us. If it's NFTs, music festivals, sporting events, strip clubs, current events, or masturbation techniques. Did I read that right? There's more than one? Fueled by, but not sponsored by, Miller Lite. This is the Appleboys podcast. Now your hosts, Josh, Corey, Rob, and Jimmy. Rob has issues. Just saying, bro.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Appleboys podcast. I'm Josh. I'm here tonight with Corey. What's up, Corey?
Hello, I am Corey.
How's it going, Rob?
Oh, it's going, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. We also have, back again, a guest. But wait, he was a guest star with Bill O'Reilly in 2 different reenactment programs. His Twitch stream has been called the next Mad Money. It's Will. What's up, Will?
Hello, I'm Will, and thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on.
It's always a pleasure, Will.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Will. I appreciate you being a regular stand-in for us. As we open the episode, would you like to go ahead and plug your Twitch channel here?
Yeah, it's twitch.tv/Razgreez. That's RAZGREEZ.
He's been going live a lot lately because there's been a lot of activity in the Bitcoin and other markets, and that's primarily what he talks about.
Yes. Markets.
Markets.
Love markets.
He is about that crypto life, too, let me tell you.
Yeah, 100%. My life has been changed by it. 100%.
For the better, unlike a lot of people here recently.
Yes. Pretty much everybody who's bought Bitcoin in the past year is down. Everyone.
They're getting wrecked. And that's the time when people decide to sell. It's like, oh, I'm going to cut my losses. And it's like the worst possible thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sell to me.
Yeah, you don't want to buy high and sell low. You want to buy when everybody's afraid and sell when everybody's feeling like a fat cat.
Yes.
But we're going to talk more about Bitcoin later. I think it's something that we need to talk about because Will's here and there's a lot going on. But let's get things kicked off with Rob. I think Rob had a topic that's been sort of burning through his mind that he's been wanting to talk about all week. And I'm going to read the topic idea, and then I'm going to turn it over to you to let you just go wild. So Rob posted, outrageously stupid Rob thoughts - bin mayhem. And that's BIN mayhem. So I have no other context than that, and then let's go.
You're really setting this bit up for failure, but that's okay.
Maybe if you gave me more context with your topic idea, I could do a better job of setting
Rob
it
is
up
like,
for you.
no, it's really just a stupid
No,
Rob thought.
it's really
like,
stupid.
Kind of like when he thought he was going to practice with professional athletes at the training camp.
No, I'm going to make this a weekly thing now. Just like, what's going through that little brain in there?
Oh, man, we need to come up with a jingle.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. So my homework for the next week or two is to come up with a little Rob Stupid Thoughts intro jingle, and it'll be a weekly segment. I like this idea.
I love that.
All right. Well, so I was on the way home the other day, and I was driving in my car, and I saw a sign, and the sign was Bin Mayhem, BIN Mayhem, wholesale retail or something. And I looked it up when I got home, but on the way home, I created a whole universe, and I want to share that with you. But
What?
So in this hypothetical universe,
He's creating like the Marvel Cinematic Universe off of this Bin Mayhem sign. I'm expecting it at this point.
so Bin Mayhem, the very first thing that came into my mind was Edgelord Al Qaeda.
Oh. Okay.
Josh's eyebrows just shot up.
What does that mean?
I'll explain. It's really edgelord Taliban, but it's fine. So the edgelords have risen up, and they are radicalized, and they are ready to take back what's theirs. And their leader, Chad bin Mayhem, is rallying them to do this.
What the fuck, man?
Lord.
It's like Osama bin Laden.
Chad bin Mayhem?
Chad bin Mayhem. He's on it, all right? And he's rallying the troops, and they are taking back what's theirs.
Which is what? The bins?
Nope.
The Mayhem?
Nope.
Is this a Mad Max dystopian future?
They're taking back everything, man. They're committing atrocities out there. They're taking out the haram and replacing it with the halal.
Interesting. Sounds a lot like Fight Club.
Wow.
I see that this is not landing nearly as hard as I thought it would.
I don't I don't quite understand.
So, leader of the Taliban, former leader, Osama bin Laden, right?
Bin Mayhem.
So I saw
Okay.
bin Mayhem, and I
was-
was just thinking like headlines for news in my head, like bin Mayhem's at it again.
Yeah. Project
w-
Mayhem.
They
I was
blew
I
up
was
a monster
following him,
truck or something.
and that's
I don't know.
exactly where I thought it was going to go.
So you went from Osama bin Laden to Osama bin Mayhem.
No, Chad bin Mayhem.
Chad bin Mayhem. Calm down.
Okay.
Mayhem's an English word.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And Chads, they like to cause the mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Y'all-Qaeda.
We can switch it if you want. We can go with Tobias bin Mayhem, perhaps.
Tobias?
What
My
about
goodness.
Josiah bin Mayhem?
Josiah bin Mayhem. That's actually pretty.
That's pretty
That could be
close.
real.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So is there any more to this
Forcefully spreading
sprawling
Christianity.
bin Mayhem universe that you've created in your mind?
Well, there's a lot more, but after this reaction that I've gotten, I don't know if I want to get into it.
I think I need more context to understand it fully.
I mean, they're hitting up energy drink trucks. They're taking over skate parks. They bombed an Aeropostale.
Oh, Jesus.
They're
Whoa.
taking over, man.
Huh.
How are they dressed?
Abercrombie for life, bro.
Just not in my head. They are Lacoste'd up,
Okay.
full Lacoste,
Little gators.
little gators.
Little gators. Go Gator.
Jeez.
I could also foresee like Ed Hardy, full Ed Hardy merch. Or what's the other one? Tap Out.
What
maybe?
about Billabong?
Affliction.
Affliction? There, that's what I was thinking of.
There you
Affliction, full Affliction gear, head to toe,
Nice.
and they're just taking over. Chad bin Mayhem.
Bin Mayhem.
Nice. So that's about as stupid, I think, as the dream that I had that I want to share, especially since Will is here. And I've shared it with all of you individually in a very abridged form, but I want to give you the full EP or LP version. LP, not EP.
Long play.
Right. I think EP and I think extended play, which sounds long. Right.
That was VHS tapes, I
Right.
think. Yeah.
So I always get those confused. But LP, I'm going to give you the LP unabridged version. So I almost never remember my dreams in detail, but my son has been sick. So he's been in the bed with us, and he's been, like the other morning, he woke up at 3 a.m. and I'm a pretty light sleeper. So when he woke up, I woke up. Thankfully, my wife took him out of the room. I was able to get back to sleep because I had to go to work early the next morning, but I never got back into a deep sleep. So I think that's the reason I had this dream, and also the reason that I remembered the dream. But I don't often dream of Will, I don't think. Like I said, I don't normally remember them. But in this particular case, I was dreaming of Will sitting here beside me. And he was driving my vehicle, which is a large black SUV. And I was in the car with him. My wife was in the car with him. And 3 other unidentified adults were in the car with us. So there's 6 adults total in the car. I didn't know any of the other 3. So it's not anyone that is on the podcast or anyone else that I know. I assume they were friends of Will's. But he is driving my vehicle for some reason through downtown Atlanta. And if anyone listening has ever driven in Atlanta, it's a horrible place to drive, especially downtown. And this was a very busy time of the day. And I haven't been to Atlanta often enough to have like the full interstate map memorized in my head. And it did feel like in the dream there was way too much open space for it to really be Atlanta. Like I knew in the dream that I was in Atlanta, but it felt more like a kind of like a Florida interstate where it was much more open.
I can tell you right now, Atlanta has zero space. So
Yeah.
But anyway, in the dream it was Atlanta, and that's just what it was. I remember the signs, and either way. So we're driving, he's driving.
I'm driving
on this bridge, and there's an off ramp to get off the bridge that has one of those little like corkscrew things that you go around to get down to the lower level, which would have merged into another interstate going perpendicular to the bridge. When you are going around the loop, instead of it being like a regular circular loop, it was a windy loop like a mountain road. Really weird. And Will is going...
It's just poor civil engineering at that point.
It's true.
Will is going much faster than he should be. And I said, Will, you need to slow down. He's like, no, it's fine.
Nah,
And we're going down the thing, and Will thought that he was all the way down the ramp, but he was not even halfway down the ramp. So he started going straight because he thought we were done, and we were not. And he hit the little guardrail thing, and the SUV just starts flipping in the air. So normally in a dream like this, you never actually get to the impact part, right? Like you have the sense of falling, and then you wake up, and you don't know what happens, and like that's the end of the dream. No. In this one, we're flipping through the air, and we land like top of the car down on the ground on the interstate below. And we're looking, and almost as if slow motion and then really fast all at once, there's this giant 18-wheeler, but it's not like a normal one. It's like one of the big Mack truck ones with the bulldog on the front, coming really, really fast, hits the SUV. Then there's a big pileup behind us, all these other cars hitting the SUV, and it's just this huge pileup. And then all six of us get out of the car. We're all fine. We have to trudge along and walk back up the little windy ramp thing where we find this short, plump police officer lady investigating the scene of the crime where we flew over the guardrail. And when we get up there, she asks us some questions, and then she arrests Will, says he's going to federal prison. She didn't say jail, she said prison.
damn it.
And then they fly in a police helicopter to pick up the other five of us. And they fly us from this little off-ramp thing back to my house. So the five of us get to the house, and I go to unlock the door, and I open it. And Will is standing at the entryway to my front door holding a tray out. And on this tray are these little square, they look like little Jell-O things, like little gelatin treats with toothpicks in them. But instead of Jell-O, they're like perfectly cut squares of Wagyu beef that's like raw. So there's just these little raw steak cubes. He's holding it out toward us, and he says, "That was quite an adventure, wasn't it?" And then I woke up.
That's wild.
What
That's
the fuck
crazy.
happened, buddy?
I don't know.
My wife accused me of being on drugs, but I certainly was not.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know. I mean,
I'm
that's-
sorry about that. My bad.
You should be sorry. You almost killed us.
I know.
But we were fine, so it's fine.
You know what's really crazy? I mean, that's a wild dream. And I hate driving in downtown Atlanta, so that makes sense. But that is not, you are not the only person to say to me this week that I was in their dream. I had two other people tell me that I was in their dream. One of those people, I was in two of their dreams. So this makes 4 dreams in a week that I was in. And of the 3 dreams that were described to me that weren't the one you just described, none of them were willing to tell me what occurred in the dream.
Well, I'm an open book, I'll tell you, buddy. Have you seen the newest Doctor Strange movie about the multiverse of madness?
No.
I haven't.
No.
Nor have I.
Okay, well, I watched it recently because it's now available on the interwebs. And they do something called Dreamwalking, which is where, like, basically through dreams, they're able to visit other multiverses or other universes in the multiverse.
Oh.
And so maybe that's what you were doing.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. That's an idea. What the hell? What's
It's
going
something,
on?
that's for sure.
I've tapped into something. I don't know what it is. I mostly stay at home and play video games, watch movies.
Yeah.
What, like, what's going on? Why am I on the dream wavelength?
I couldn't tell you, buddy. Speaking of video games, though, have you played the new Ninja Turtles game?
No, I haven't.
Only briefly.
Yeah, I only
Played
played
just a
like
little
one
bit.
level.
Yeah, me too. I beat Bebop.
Bebop, yeah.
And that
And
was-
then
they're gonna
Rocksteady took the girl.
Yeah, April.
Yeah, it wasn't April though, was it?
Oh no, it wasn't.
No,
She's a playable
she's
character.
not. Yeah, she's not the one that got kidnapped.
I don't remember, but it's a full on retro throwback. It's called TMNT
Shredder's Revenge.
and it is a full on throwback to the original arcade game from mine and Josh's childhoods, and it is absolutely wonderful.
It's
but
awesome.
It is designed to be played together, I think,
Mhm.
because it's not a great single player experience. I don't think.
I agree, and
Huh.
it's like relatively difficult. May just be that I now suck at video games. But
It's also that older games were also just very difficult. Like, you remember Battletoads?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I've played
I was just
Battletoads.
thinking about Battletoads.
do you know what a good like? I loved Battletoads, but Battletoads versus Double Dragon.
Oh yeah,
was so
yeah.
good.
That was also a good one. They're supposed to be rebooting Battletoads, supposedly. They keep rumoring that it's going to come out, and then it just doesn't.
Battletoads, Earthworm Jim,
Duke Nukem.
Duke Nukem.
Earthworm Jim was another epically difficult
It
game.
was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing beats that Lion King SNES game, though.
Ooh, that
That
was
was
tough.
impossible.
Paperboy was tough too.
Oh, I played some Paperboy. Oh my god.
I was thinking, was it Ghosts and Goblins?
Oh,
Ghouls and Goblins.
Ghouls and
I believe.
Goblins.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah,
yeah.
Why don't we just go all the way back to Galaga,
shit was hard.
Galaga.
Galaga's easy.
I'm good at Galaga.
the Oregon Trail?
Yeah.
That's
Oregon
hard,
Trail.
yeah.
If you're not the banker, you're fucked.
You have died from dysentery.
Every time, man.
You want to know what I've been looking for? Is a Guitar Hero controller, USB Guitar Hero
Yeah,
controller.
that's probably going to be tough.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. They're like $100.
Yeah, because they don't make them anymore.
They don't.
They keep talking about potentially bringing it back again, and they should,
Yeah.
because rhythm games is like my favorite form of co-op video gaming for sure.
Yes.
You actually bought my Ion drum kit.
I did.
Yeah. Because I don't have anything that can fucking use it anymore.
As soon as I heard you had one,
I
bought it.
I was struggling to let it go. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
I had a lot of good memories on that thing, but like those little legacy adapters that you can't get them.
Yeah. It's tough.
And I wasn't gonna buy a fucking 360 just to play Rock Band.
I know.
That does sound like
Lord.
the kind of thing you would do, though.
I certainly looked at it, and I still have my my Xbox 360 Slim hard drive with all my shit on it. Like I have like
Oh.
gigs of music on this hard
Do
drive.
you just need a working Xbox 360?
kind of. Well, he has my drum kit now. So
Yeah.
Well, I have an Xbox 360.
is it the Slim, the one that has the expandable hard drive slot?
It's
Is
the
that the thing that goes on top or no?
I have the dark one.
It does go on top.
I don't
believe.
remember.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty
It's
sure
so-
it's the OG 360.
No, it's not the OG. They came out with another one that has like it had like an expandable hard drive bay. You could slide a 250 gig.
Oh,
hard drive
Yeah,
into
no.
it.
We're talking about the one that goes on top.
Yeah, that's the 20 gigabyte one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the 250 gigabyte stick it in hard drive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
Rhythm games.
I miss them so much.
Me too.
That was like every afternoon. I would get off work and I'd just go home, get fucked up, and play Rock Band and Guitar Hero, man.
And what a good thing for retail.
Yeah,
You know, rhythm games were.
absolutely.
Because you had to go to a store to get those things.
Well, and not only that, but then they also had like the active demos, and like people would just sit there and play them all day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was one of those people.
Did you ever work anywhere that had one of those demos?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you ever fuck with people while they were playing?
No.
So I did.
Like how so?
So the Xbox demo, which was what the Guitar Hero demo was on, always had a Samsung TV attached to it because Samsung was the official television of Xbox. They were partnered together in a lot of ways.
Huh.
So at the time, Samsung had a button on their remote. It was the freeze button
Oh.
that worked on the remote from across the store. I worked in the TV department. And we had this one kid, we just called him the Guitar Hero kid. He would come in every day and he would just sit there and play Guitar Hero for like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Like there were times that I would come in the morning to open. He would come in right when we opened, and he would be there till the end of my shift. He would still be there.
Yeah.
So I would start pressing the freeze button, which just stops the screen in like some of the most difficult parts of the songs. And he would just like look all around, like what happened? I broke it, and then just kind of set the controller down and walk away.
Oh.
And I thought it was hilarious.
Heartbrearting.
I gotta say, I've never done that. Yeah, it was kind of mean.
Whatever, man.
I know
It
his
was
pain.
hilarious.
Oh.
All right. Well, let's talk about some pop culture stuff for a minute, and then we'll get into some of the more serious stuff maybe.
Oh, geez.
So, have you guys watched any TV shows or movies or anything lately that you're really excited about that you want to talk about? Or
Top Gun Maverick still.
yeah, we've talked about that a few times. So I think the audience is
It
well
is-
aware of our feelings on
It
Top
is
Gun Maverick.
back in 4D, though, and I think I'm going to do that again.
Oh, okay.
I got one.
This is now a Top Gun Maverick podcast.
No. No. I got one.
If you don't like Top Gun Maverick, then fuck you.
Yeah.
I've been watching For All Mankind season 3.
All right.
And if you haven't heard of For All Mankind, it's about the space race, landing on the moon and all that.
But it's an alternative view of it, right?
Yes.
It's like what would happen if.
Yeah. And the thing that changes the timeline is that the Russians land on the moon first. That's like kind of the whole, like the first 5 minutes of the show.
The Flashpoint.
Yeah. That's what changes the whole thing. And instead of the space race stopping basically in the 70s, it goes like season 1 is the 70s and season 2 is the 80s and season 3 is the 90s.
Ooh.
All right.
My
Okay.
favorite decade.
And so like in each season, if you've ever seen like Mad Men, for instance, you'll notice they use, music that is specific to the year that the season is occurring in.
Yeah.
So each of these seasons comprises like a decade, and they go through, all the music is the same. There's like they're playing Nirvana and stuff like that.
Nice.
And oh man, the acting in it is ridiculously good. Production quality is insane. The plot is insane. It's an Apple show.
You've told me about that show before, and I remember watching a portion of the first episode while I was really, really tired, and I fell asleep, and I just never got back to it. So I have not given that show a fair shake, but I would like to.
Oh, it's badass.
I'll have to check it out.
Especially if you like Top Gun. People
yeah.
going super fast, doing
course.
death-defying things with
Into
jet
that.
propulsion.
I'll have to
right?
check it out for sure.
Yeah,
I've been watching a lot of the Netflix Korean shows,
Yep.
like all the horror shows that they have.
There's some zombie show that I wanted to watch the other day, but
Is it All of Us Are Dead?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one.
Is it
Yeah,
good?
It's pretty good. It's got its fair share of like teen drama, which is I'm beyond that, I guess you could say almost. But
That was the first one of those types of shows that really intrigued me, and I've had it on my like list of maybe one days for a while. But now that they have released Money Heist Korea,
I'm gonna watch the
yeah,
fuck out of that. I didn't know it was out already.
Can't wait to watch that.
I watched the trailer for that show that you were talking about, the Korean zombie show, and in the trailer they're like, "This is like Train to Busan," and I'm like,
no, they make
"Well, that's real funny."
they make a bunch of references to Train to Busan. Actually,
That's a good movie.
or Train to Busan. It's
Yeah.
a really good movie. It's actually
it's a really good movie.
No, I watched Silent Sea, and that had one of the chicks from Train to Busan in it. That's what it was.
Nice.
It's like a zombie parasite.
whoa.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, Train to Busan. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Man, it's real good. Like, zombie parasite is maybe going a bridge too far, but it's if Parasite's like a 10, it's probably like a 9. Like, it's real strong.
Train to Busan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't they make a sequel?
I forget what it's called, but yes, they did. I tried to watch it when it had just come out in Korea, and I downloaded it illegally off the internet, hypothetically, and
All right.
it didn't have subtitles,
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
so I gave up pretty quick.
Yeah, when Ip Man 3 came out, I downloaded it,
Yeah,
and it had no subtitles. The only thing you could understand was Mike Tyson.
well, that's hilarious.
If you guys ever run into those types of issues, you should hit me up. I can probably fix that.
I mean,
for
this was a long time ago.
you. Just saying.
But yeah, I still watched the whole movie because with those movies you don't really give a shit about the story anyway. You just want to watch Donnie Yen punch people.
Right.
And mission accomplished. Let's
Yep.
just say.
Have you guys seen the OA?
Oh,
I have not.
I've seen the first season of it.
You said, have you seen the OA? And like all of the episodes of the OC went running through my mind.
Yeah, that's
which is
that's
way
different show.
different.
Initially, I was like, "What the fuck, man?" Like my fiance's been watching the OC. But
Yeah.
No. It's a Netflix show.
I'm not gonna lie. I went through like a 12 to 18 month period where all of my time was spent playing Final Fantasy 11 and watching episodes of One Tree Hill and the OC.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
just dudes playing basketball, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
I love the dad in the OC.
Yeah.
He's very responsible, nurturing male figure.
I think I like the setting of the OC better. Like I like Orange County better than like Small Town USA, but
Better than One Tree Hill. Isn't that what it was called? The
Yeah.
city?
yeah. I think it's called Tree Hill.
Whatever.
But either way, I like the characters better
Okay.
in One Tree Hill, and also like the basketball aspect.
Yeah. Who
The-
doesn't?
The daughter in OC, super hot. I remember.
Everyone in
Everyone
the OC.
in the OC and One Tree Hill are super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's basically a soap opera for teenagers.
I
But-
haven't seen either of those shows, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, well, you should. Never mind. You should not check them out.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd skip it.
So this was not. I didn't intend to bring this up, but I am rewatching 24 right now. I'm
Ooh,
actually
nice.
I'm simultaneously rewatching 24 and Justified,
Ooh.
which are two
Oliphant.
weird shows. But sometimes when I'm trying to get a lot of stuff done that's not like super concentration intensive, I like to rewatch things on the side because I don't have to pay super close attention and I can kind of do both things at the same time. But anyway, as far as new shows go, The Old Man I've been watching. It's Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Bridges.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff Bridges.
Jeff
It
Bridges.
is.
Jeff
I get
Bridges.
them confused.
They are
Daniels is from the
real
newsroom.
different.
I love them both.
Jeff Daniels is from
Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber
I
as
know.
well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It is
Gettysburg.
Bridges. They are.
It's the dude, man.
I know it's the dude, and he's in
Yeah.
Tron. Like I get it. I love them both. It's the Jeffs are just like the Chris's for me. Like I can't keep Chris
Yeah.
Pratt and Chris Pine and Chris Hemsworth straight, and I can't keep Jeff Bridges and Jeff Daniels straight.
Is he? He's also in the Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Chris
Oh.
Pratt
Who, Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
Bridges,
No,
yeah.
wasn't that Kurt
he's
Russell?
the
or Chris Pine?
No.
No, he's
I
the
think-
dad.
I think that was Kurt Russell.
Chris Pine is Star Trek.
Chris Pratt and
Chris-
Chris Hemsworth are both in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yes. Well,
I'm pretty sure
no.
the dad and from Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
2 was Kurt Russell,
Okay.
who I get mixed up with Jeff Bridges frequently.
I mean, they
Hmm.
look the same. So
Well, basically, almost, yeah.
yeah,
Whoa.
Jeff Daniels and Jeff Bridges look very, very different.
Yeah, but they're both equally amazing actors.
They're, well,
Good
Hmm.
cover, Josh.
I mean,
But anyway,
I'm not
the
gonna
old,
shit on Jeff Daniels, but
the old man on FX, I've heard is very good.
It is. I didn't see a preview for it before I started watching it. My media server has these lists that it uses to go out and just find new shit and downloads it. It's totally above board. And so sometimes stuff just shows up.
It's a gray area.
Sometimes stuff just shows up, and this showed up, and I recognized his face. So Jeff sold it for me, and I decided, you know what? It's only one episode is out so far.
Hmm.
So if I don't like it, I won't feel obligated to keep watching because it's not like I could watch another episode if I wanted to anyway. And within the first, like you watch the first 5 or 10 minutes and still don't have any idea what's going on. Then like 15 minutes in, you're like, oh, it's that kind of show. This is awesome.
Oh.
And it was really
All right. My fiance and I started watching the newest season of Stranger Things as well.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I watched some of that.
It's real good.
It
Still
is.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I think Stranger Things season 4 I liked a lot. My wife has watched it also separately for me because of schedule conflicts. But as the characters have gotten older, the show has certainly matured in theme. It makes me it's not the same like type of thing, but it makes me think of the Harry Potter movies.
Oh,
Yeah, I was about to make the same analogy.
Yeah,
So,
so like
I can totally see it.
at the very beginning of the Harry Potter movies, they're very like whimsical and just you're exploring the world.
Yeah.
And then they get darker and grittier
And
as
then
they
it
go along.
very quick becomes, I'm going to fucking kill you, Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the first season of Stranger Things is very stylized.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
it's like introducing you slowly to what is to come. And by season 4, it's like full on traditional horror,
Yeah.
which is a
I'm-
change of pace.
I'm really enjoying it. We're like 5 episodes in, I think, at
Mhm.
this point, and really enjoying it. And the soundtrack, of course, is a banger.
Yeah.
That Kate Bush song is like the #1 song in the world right
It
now,
is.
which
Yeah.
is kind of crazy to think about.
That's
but
So cool.
That is weird. I do like season 4 of Stranger Things a lot. I'm pretty excited about July 1st when the like part 2 comes out.
that's why we started watching it when we did, because I'd made the mistake with Money Heist, right? Like it came out like December 3rd or whenever it came out, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And like I watched the shit out of that show when I discovered it finally, and blew straight through the first like 6 episodes or whatever it was,
Mm.
and then the cliffhanger happens, and they're like, "We'll be back." I'm like, "What the fuck? This is a 2-parter thing? God damn you, Walking Dead! Fuck him right in the ass, man."
Oh, man.
That whole 2-part season thing exists because of The Walking Dead.
Basically.
AMC was like, we don't have any more ideas. Let's milk this shit for all it's worth.
Yeah. Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul. Same situation. The second half.
Another AMC show.
Yep. There it is.
formulaic.
If it didn't work, they wouldn't do it.
It's fucking fair, but like, come up with some shit for the spring. Don't like make it your fall show
Yeah.
and figure out something for the spring.
Yeah.
Use your fucking brain. Well, like we did. We split the season.
So you mentioned, or I guess I mentioned it, and then you confirmed the Harry Potter thing, the analogy earlier.
Yeah.
I was on the internet today or yesterday, and I read this thing about what if movies or stories were done honestly, and it was talking about like the time when, spoiler if you don't know Harry Potter, when
La 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 la. I'm just kidding.
Harry's name goes into the Triwizard Cup
Oh, yeah.
in the Goblet of Fire when he's gonna do his he's gonna participate in the Triwizard tournament,
Yeah.
but he can't because he's not old enough and like all these other things. And so the thing reads out like, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? And Harry's like, no, I swear. And then Dumbledore's like, okay. So then they open an investigation to find out how his name got in there, and then
Right.
they're not going to let him do it because like he's not old enough anyway, and all the bullshit about the magical contract that they never explain. Dumbledore's the greatest wizard that ever lived, so he
Yeah.
could probably figure out a way to break that.
And also, I have the elder one.
He's got the elder one, yeah. So it's like,
Hmm.
but that wouldn't make for a good story, would it?
Hmm.
True.
just like the entire Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Ah, that's such a steaming pile of dog shit.
I will say-
I've read a lot of people online really like the show, and
It's
I've talked to some
fine.
people, and there were aspects of it that were fine.
It scratches the itch. That's about all it does for me. Like it's not monumental like The Mandalorian was. Like The Mandalorian was like legit like,
Yeah.
wow, this is so innovative and different than anything they've ever done before.
Gnarly.
Obi-Wan is just like, hey, fucking we'll scratch that itch until we put out the next season of Mandalorian. Here you go,
Mm.
buddy.
That
Yeah.
truly, like, there were some things about it that I liked, but it's mostly dog shit.
Yeah.
I think I'm up
Marvelized.
to the finale episode.
Oh.
The finale episode has some cool stuff that happens, but it's not good. Like,
I sent you
I
guys
don't know.
this picture. It was an article from one of those like clickbait blog sites.
yeah, I saw that.
It was like, do you think that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to kill young Skywalker in the
Oh my
finale
God.
of the show? It's like,
Get it out.
buddy, did you watch any of the movies?
Yeah. None.
Like, fucking really?
Oh my lord. The
Yeah, I
Obi-Wan
watched-
show.
I watched episode 1, 2, and 3. Of course, I saw some of the movies.
Yeah. I mean, it's about Ewan McGregor, right?
Yeah.
Ewan McDonald.
Had a
Like-
farm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a bad actor. You can tell he really wanted to do that show. He puts his back into it.
He is the top listed executive producer. So,
Yeah.
obviously.
Makes sense. But I feel like a lot of the rest of that show is like kind of weak. The acting is weak.
I thought they cast young Leia pretty well.
Yeah, she's great.
She's did fine.
She's my favorite part of the show, but Kumar can get fucked.
Yeah.
That character was terrible.
That is so racist,
So
by the way.
yeah, so I haven't.
What do you mean
seen-
it's racist?
Hold on. So I haven't seen the show. So
All right.
is
It's
Kumar?
not Cal Penn, number
It's-
one.
So it's
What do you
not
mean
Cal
it's not
Penn?
Cal Penn?
That's not Cal Penn. That's what I mean.
It looks just like him.
What do you mean? Yes, it is.
No, it is
It
not.
has to be.
The fuck, it's not. Hold on.
Look it up.
I don't think Cal Penn is acting anymore.
He's not. He like works in the White House.
Is it Harold then?
No. It's
Well,
Kumail Nanjiani.
Oh.
Oh no, buddy.
They were like, we should get Diet Kumar.
We're gonna have to cut all of this.
Yeah, we are. I've said that to like 16 people.
Oh, buddy.
Oh, my
All right,
Lord.
never mind. Keep this in.
This
This is a listen for
This is
everyone out there.
Orlando all over again, man.
There are there's different Indian actors that exist.
Yeah.
It's not all just Kumar.
He's like, what does that got? Like 5 O's and 2 U's?
I got to admit,
Yeah.
I thought he was Kumar. I did.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I believed it until just now. I'm waiting for confirmation,
It's
obviously.
definitely Kumail Nanjiani.
I
I
mean,
bu-
I
I-
haven't seen this shit, and
Yeah.
I can tell you it's probably not Cal Penn.
Hmm.
That motherfucker was on House,
oh.
and
Oh.
that was I think his last acting thing before he went to the White House.
Yo, I thought it was so fucking weird how ripped he had gotten.
Whoa.
Can I see a picture
Yeah.
like of him in the show? I just want to see how bad this is.
It's pretty egregious.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
They don't look anything alike.
I mean, I know they don't, but I thought maybe like he like swooped his hair in like a mid '90s
All
fashion.
right, hang
or
on.
something.
Is he also the guy from Obi-Wan? Is he in
The Big
Silicon
Sick.
Valley?
Yes, he's also in
Oh.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. That's not the same guy from Harold and Kumar?
No.
Josh, please?
I
Not
promise
bad.
you.
Shit.
I thought it
No,
was.
man. They're like he's a foot taller than Cal Penn. What do
Jesus
you mean?
Christ.
And they
my
don't
God.
sound anything alike either.
Here's a problem.
Like Kumail Nanjiani talks and he's like, I promise I am not making fun of my people. This is just how I talk.
Oh my goodness. I think Star Wars is most effective when it's not being funny, personally.
That doesn't look a goddamn thing like Cal Penn.
Oh my god.
Are you shitting me?
Like, did you notice that The Last Jedi, like half of it was like a slapstick comedy,
Yeah.
like a total
a little bit.
It was terrible.
All right. Imagine if this guy lost weight and got like in really good shape. Like went through the superhero experience. Right? So he diets like
Yep,
crazy.
That's Cal Penn. Uh-huh.
yeah, so he diets like crazy,
White House advisor.
gets
Cal Penn.
himself
Got it.
shredded.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't see that being the same guy?
No.
Fuck no.
I believed it was the same guy, so I'm in the same boat.
So speaking of Kumail Nanjiani, was playing the Shadow of Mordor game,
Ooh.
and he does a voice in that, and it really threw me for a loop because he does a voice of an orc, and he starts talking, and it's just like, what? I can only picture his face.
That game is great. That,
I've started it a bunch of times, but I keep fucking up with the rival thing,
oh,
and that guy gets way too powerful, way too fast.
yeah.
And I just have to start over again because otherwise it's like anytime I battle anything, that dude just comes in and fucks my world.
Yeah.
I read an article after Silicon Valley that I swear to God was him talking about how far he had come since fucking Harold and Kumar. And I saw this picture and I was like, you're right. He looks like a totally different person.
No shit, asshole.
That's Kumail Nanjiani from his
Whoa.
Eternals.
Man's ripped. Lord.
Man, I was watching that Obi-Wan, and I didn't like what Kumar was doing in it.
Hey, come on. Hey, It's an honest mistake.
I swear to God, that was not intentional, and I'm sorry.
I know it wasn't intentional. It's what makes it way funnier. Like, I know that you don't, like, you're not racist towards Indian people.
Not at all. I thought
You
it was
just
the
can't tell
same
the difference
fucking
between,
person.
two different people.
Oh, man. That's so good.
To be fair, earlier in the episode, I had the exact same issue with two different old white men, so it has nothing to do with race.
Whoa.
You guys like that Bad Boys movie?
Josh has face blindness.
Hey.
Do I like what movie?
Bad Boys,
Yeah.
Which one?
featuring Chris Tucker and Chris Rock.
Hey, wait a minute.
I love it.
Bad Boys
Is it Will Smith in it?
Josh is staring
Yeah.
daggers.
It's Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Neither
the
of them
two
are
people that I just
Asian.
said.
See, like
Nor is Chris Tucker and Chris Rock.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
Neither. Yeah.
It'd been way funnier if
Jackie Chan.
Chris Rock had played the Martin Lawrence role in the Bad Boys movies,
Rush Hour.
because then the slap would have meant so much more, because bad boys do not ride together and die together.
That's true.
The slap.
You guys seen
my world has been rocked tonight.
Kumar.
I'm trying to think back of
Jesus.
all the different people that I've said that to over the last like 5 days, who probably think I am just like a fucking horrible human. And I'm not. Like, I literally meant it like the character who played Kumar, not just like generic Indian person named Kumar.
you probably shouldn't call Kal Penn Kumar.
That's his most well-known role, besides Obi-Wan's guy.
They look similar. I think
They're
it's a
both
fair.
he's literally like can you look up the height of these two people?
No, none of that matters, because I haven't seen Harold and Kumar in years. Like Jeff Daniels and Jeff Bridges don't look alike either, but I get them
Yeah,
confused.
You got their names confused. They don't look alike at all.
right, but I still get what movies they're in confused.
Here, okay. I'm gonna tell you something, and you tell me if it's
For
true
a
or
long time, I
have
thought
the
they were the
same
same
name.
person.
So
They have the same first name.
So
So that's an easy way to get them confused.
yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing between Kal Penn and Kumail Nanjiani is that they're both brown.
Kumail Nanjiani. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? They have similar facial structure.
Because they're both Indian. What
And
the
they-
fuck are you talking
They
about?
have similar.
right, which is an easy way to get them confused. They're
They
both
have-
No,
actors.
it's not.
they
That's
have
not.
similar
look similar.
vocal
No.
traits.
Yes.
Let's take it down a notch there,
They
bud.
sound
Get a
similar.
little worked up over there.
I'm so confused.
Okay. What about the girl who plays Leia? Is she or is she not
I
the
haven't
girl
seen it.
from Game? Oh,
The girl from
Haven't
Game of
seen it.
Thrones?
No,
the girl
she's
from
not.
Game of Thrones who plays the Bear Island girl.
I don't.
Are they
think
the
she-
same
She
actress?
might be. I don't know. I haven't seen Game of Thrones in a minute.
She's not, but the guy from Stranger Things season 4 was in Game of Thrones.
You mean like the little girl that's like in the North
Yeah.
Council or whatever?
Yeah.
I think it might be.
Is it the same girl?
Oh, the bear lady?
the Bear Island girl.
Yeah.
I think it
yeah.
might be. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it.
Leanna Mormont.
I don't think
Or
it's her.
Mormont,
Yeah.
I think.
Mormont.
I think it's Mormont.
Yeah, there you
Mormont.
go. Mormont.
Yeah.
If Will's wrong about this, does that make him some sort of bigot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Without question, yes.
No. Because
Because
they're not
I said the
brown.
same thing.
I just thought of it just now.
Yeah, no, that's a valid point. I think it might be though.
They look similar in that they're both small white girls with brown hair.
Yeah.
So I can see you getting like Katy Perry and Zooey Deschanel confused. Like that makes sense, right?
I've
I
done
can't.
that.
I can't either.
I've done that.
What?
They got similar eyeballs.
They look exactly the same.
No, they do not. Not
Yes, they
even
do.
close.
If you take off Zooey Deschanel's glasses and don't give her bangs, they're the same person. Katy Perry has bigger boobs. That's it.
That's true.
Whoa. I didn't think about that. Or did I?
Oh, jeez.
Zoe.
Katy
Zoe's a
Perry-
cool name.
Katy Perry and Zooey Deschanel do not look alike, in my opinion, at all.
Hmm.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
It's not her.
It's
It
not
is
the same
her.
person.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, there you go.
And actually, now that I saw a picture of her again, like as soon as I saw the picture, I was like, yeah, no, that's not the same girl.
But they look similar.
Yeah, no, they do have similar facial structure, as you pointed out.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
The at
She
the
like
skins.
super died in Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah. She was
Yeah.
crushed
Yeah, that's what I thought.
by
like,
a
the
zombie
thing.
giant.
Yeah, that's
by
right.
the Gigante.
Yeah. Wrecked.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, have you guys ever been more disappointed by a TV show?
True Blood.
Ooh.
True Blood, I could kind of rationalize.
I forgot about True Blood.
Like not a good ending, and really, there's an argument to be made for like the last like 2 seasons were not very good.
I would say the last few seasons of 24 were pretty disappointing.
But in terms of
Colossal disappointment.
like, I had been into Game of Thrones since really the start of the second season because I wasn't like an early adopter like most people. I waited for the first season to come out on like Blu-ray and I binged it then, and I was like, okay, I get it. Now I understand why everyone loves this shit.
I don't think the first season you had to get to like episode 10 before it was actually good.
I disagree. The end of the first episode, I was in like June.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not care at all about the show until so the time when I was like actually like, oh, okay, this is kind of dope is when the mountain cut off that horse's head at the joust. And I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, this is fucking real.
Did y'all?
And
I'm sorry.
oh, you're fine. But like episode 10 is like what really like drew me in because I was like, oh, this show is it be hitting different. I'm gonna watch this shit until the end.
They give no fucks.
Did y'all
Yeah.
read the books? Any of you?
I have tried.
I tried. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's a tough read.
It's like, it's almost kind of like trying to read Tolkien in a way. Because like, if you're not like really into it, they're so descriptive of everything.
Yeah.
It's like reading a history book a little bit.
Almost, yeah.
And George R.R. Martin is like super into food.
Yeah.
Sure,
it's like
well,
food porn.
Have you seen him?
Yeah, but I mean, like his books are like there's way too much detail in the food.
I've read the books.
I've read the first 3.
I love the South Park adaptation of George R.R. Martin. It's so fucking
man.
funny.
Yeah, that's good.
And his wiener is just huge and floppy.
Lord.
It's just flopping everywhere.
It's-
Yeah.
Oh my God.
when are the pizzas coming? The pizzas are coming. They're coming. They're going to be here. Don't you worry.
Oh man. I don't know. I've read. I have a cookbook, a Game of Thrones cookbook, based on the descriptive language around food
Nice.
in the books.
Well, that's pretty neat.
Have
That's
you
cool.
made
That's a
anything?
cool little byproduct.
It's fun.
Have you made anything?
No,
Oh, well, maybe you should
I just
on your
wanted-
new grill.
that's a good idea. I just wanted to read it because I thought it was cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll say this, in terms of being disappointed by the end of a TV show, I acknowledge that the end of Game of Thrones is horrible, the show. But the, yardstick I use to measure disappointment at the end of a TV show is Lost. If you've ever seen that one.
I never finished it.
I got
It's
to like
awful.
season 4.5 and was like, what the fuck is going on? There's
I
a
think-
bunker.
I think I made it
I
to
don't know.
season 6, maybe.
Yeah.
Whenever the
How many
island
seasons are
started,
there?
whenever the island started traveling through time, that's when I was like, okay,
Okay.
done.
I think there's 8.
I gotta say, Desmond is still one of my favorite characters of any TV show of all time.
Great exposition.
Just because he comes in and he's like, I'm gonna chop his fucking head off, brother.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to me.
It's metal.
I think the thing with Lost is that no matter how much you think you want to see the monster and know the monster, sometimes you don't. Because no matter how
Yeah.
they did it,
It was going to let you
it
down.
was going to let you down.
Yeah.
Like you would have rather just had the mystery forever.
No doubt.
I'll tell you what I thought it was for the longest time was a rogue nanobot swarm that had like gone crazy and it was like reading people's minds and shit.
Well, somebody just watched Big Hero 6.
I've never seen that movie.
You should. San
Yeah.
Francisco's dope.
It is real good, yeah.
It is. Have
Huh.
you guys seen, speaking of newer shows, it's not new, but it's newer. I have to look up the actual name of this show. It's like Article 13 or something like that. Bunker 99.
Those are very different.
Fuck. Well,
I don't know.
started strong. Have no idea what the fuck the show's called, but it's really good. I'm going to look it up really quick. And then
We
we
do
can
it,
just
buddy. Yeah. Going
Hmm.
back to these Korean dramas that I've been watching. Dude, Netflix has so many of them. Like you watch one and then your recommended column is just like, oh, here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Time to go down this Korean rabbit hole. Let's go.
When my wife was in college, her and her sorority sisters used to watch Korean dramas that were like,
Hell yeah. Like the soap opera kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. They have all of those on Netflix.
yeah. So my wife made me add a whole section to my media server for Korean dramas.
Nice.
So I think her favorite show is called Cheese is a Trap.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about the name, but that's interesting.
It's loosely translated.
No,
Gotcha. Okay.
I get it. That there's always free cheese in a mousetrap.
Unless you're smart and use peanut butter.
Yeah. Then the peanut butter's free.
Yeah.
Right.
The show is called Archive 81.
Archive 81.
Archive 81.
Oh yeah, you
I
told us
watched
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I?
I
Somebody
haven't
told
seen
us
it.
about that.
I did, yeah.
Like
while
the tape
ago.
in the woods or whatever.
Yeah. So I just made myself really sad because apparently it's been canceled and there's
It
not
has
going to
been
be a season
canceled.
2.
Yeah. No, they really left it open for it.
Man, that makes me so fucking sad because that show was really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. So did my fiance. She was really into it as well.
I'm sorry, fellas.
I mean, it's fine. There'll be another one.
I called the path that they were going down like in episode like 3 or something, and my girlfriend was very upset about this because I do this
Because you
with
were
like
right.
yeah, and I do this
Oh.
with like a decent amount of shows. So if you haven't, I don't know if I should spoil this. It doesn't fucking matter. They're not having a season 2. If you want to watch it, fucking watch it. But there's a lot of like it's basically a loose retelling of the Dante's Inferno like story,
Oh.
and there's a lot of like kind of little nods that get you. So for example, the guy's name is Dan, but his like middle name is T, like it starts with a T, so it's Dan T.
Yeah.
And then his like boss is named Virgil, who's like his guide, and it goes through this whole thing. So it's really, really cool.
That is pretty neat. You fellas wanna take a quick break?
Sure.
We'll be right back.
This is B-Word, one half of the host of the Bleach Brothers podcast. My buddy Jake the Hater, Jake the Tailgater, joins me every single week on Sundays to cover things like dadisms, food and beverage, and all things entertainment.
And just like Sunday church, when you get out, you can come and enjoy all the dirty talk and get sanitized.
You're listening to the Appleboys podcast. Now back to your hosts, Josh, Corey, Rob, and Jimmy.
Warning. This episode contains mature content not suitable for children under 18 years of age. Also, we talk about some shit and we get serious and it's not our normal stuff. So if you don't want to hear us talk about like Roe v. Wade and Bitcoin, stuff like that, and the economy crashing and climate change and all this liberal bullshit, just maybe skip the back half of this episode.
This is a trigger warning for those that are easily triggered.
So, Jimmy, I know you don't listen to the podcast, but maybe you shouldn't listen to this one.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Jimmy gets triggered so easily.
Well, he's young.
Speaking of,
Yeah.
as we give this warning, shouldn't we talk about the fact that Jimmy dipped out on us to go to a quinceañera?
Jimmy went to a goddamn party for a 15-year-old girl. Like, bitch, be 15 another day.
Is that what a quinceañera is?
Yeah, it's
It's a sweet 15.
It's a sweet 15. It's the transitioning of a girl into womanhood in the Latin American culture.
Learned something today.
It's a weird thing, isn't it?
All right, bye, everybody.
Oh.
I never meant to give you mushrooms, girl. I never meant to bring you to my world. And now you're lying in the corner crying. Bum 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 bum.
We like to party hardcore. We like.
Tell me where the freak's at. Who was the rapper in that song? I forget his name.
Tyler, the Creator.
Definitely not that. It was.
Probably not.
Does it say it on there? I want to say it started with an S. It was like a really cool name. Like it came out with a CD, and I tried to listen to it, and it wasn't very good.
Savage.
Savage. That was his fucking name. Yes.
Oh
Not of
my
the
God.
21 variety.
Wow.
No, just regular Savage.
Savage.
Savage. Savage
Savage.
by Dior.
Savage.
Well, you can't say that, man. It's 2022.
It's fucking June, bud.
Whoa.
It's
Happy
fine.
Pride Month.
It's Pride Month.
Happy Pride.
Hey, happy Pride. Yeah. Good
Speaking,
times.
Speaking of Pride, how do we feel about Roe v. Wade?
Oh, Christ.
Are they going to make it less hard for
It's a nightmare.
the gays to adopt now that they've overturned Roe v. Wade?
It's possible.
Because somebody got to take care of them babies.
That guy Clarence, Justice
Maybe.
Clarence, he's the one who says they should put pretty much everything up for review.
You say Clarence parents?
Justice Clarence.
With a real good marriage.
I knew we were going to get there, Josh.
Yeah.
Welcome back,
Well,
everybody. We had a nice break. Now
Hey
we're
there.
back. And
Yeah.
sounds like we're going to get into a little Roe v. Wade talk.
Yep.
So as we know, the Appleboys does not like to get political.
But this is like pretty important.
It's a big one.
This is pretty important.
It's women's rights. Basically.
We'd be remiss if we didn't at least bring it up.
Yeah. We should, a lot of people will probably die as a result of this.
I agree.
There's a storm a coming, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. They're going to burn things. Like,
Oh, that's what you mean.
well, not to be, a heartless capitalist, but calls on Home Depot, or glass companies.
Or coat hanger companies.
Yeah. You long for,
Oh,
that's terrible. Oh my God.
Is it?
Lord.
It's relevant.
I know.
I think that home abortions are probably going to become more prevalent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that people are going to
It's true.
find a way to get it done, outlawing abortion. So I think 3 states have already outlawed abortion outright, right? It was a trigger ban that happened because of the overturn. So Kentucky's one of them, I know.
Missouri was one of them.
I thought it was like 15.
It's 3 that's a trigger, and then 15
Yeah,
are,
like,
I think
they're
are within
coming.
30 days.
Yeah, they're coming
Oh.
real soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're one of them, by the way.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in general, I think that I'm politically, I tend to be very in the middle, and I tend to have opinions based on individual issues and not necessarily down party lines.
Yeah, just
right?
like a blanket, like I am this
Right.
because
And so, from a values perspective, I think I probably lean more conservative in general. But on issues like this, I definitely lean pretty hard toward the liberal side of things. But I think in general, I like for people and organizations to stay in their lanes. So the whole separation of church and state thing, I don't think that companies should be politically or religiously charged to back causes and things like that unless that's the purpose of the company. And I don't think that churches should have any say in lawmaking. I'm getting to a point. I work for a big company, and they sent out a notice immediately after Roe v. Wade was overturned. And the Cliff's Notes version of the notice was basically, if you want to get an abortion and your state doesn't offer it and you have health care through us, we will pay for you to go somewhere where it's safe to do so, including lodging for you and someone to go with you. Basically, no questions asked. It's essentially what it said. So that was an instance where the company is taking a very political stance on an issue that on both sides of the aisle there's a lot of passion around. And that is something that can be very galvanizing for some people, but it can also be very alienating for other people.
I mean, at the end of the day, it sounds like the company that you work for, just cares about what's correct for the employee, right? And with a ban that goes into place for something like this, it doesn't, obviously it's going to cut down on the amount of those procedures that are happening. But at the end of the day, people that really want to get that procedure done are going to get it done. And it doesn't affect those people. It just makes it way, way more dangerous. So it's good that there are companies out there taking a stand on that kind of thing.
I agree with that. It can be very easy to be cynical about corporations, especially big ones, taking positions or putting measures like that in place. The generally accepted term is commercialized moralism. When there's no actual benefit to the company that is quantifiable, when they're doing something entirely based on an ethical point of view, right? It can be easy to color that as marketing, right? A version of marketing. But I think in this instance, it is a truly ethical thing to provide your employees with a safe way, to get what they need.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of kidding about the Pride Month thing, but every fucking company that's out there is doing something for Pride Month. And, not to be cynical, but at the end of the day, they don't give a shit about the LGBT community for 11 months out of the year. But, June 1st rolls around, they put the fucking rainbow flags up on Twitter, and all of a sudden they super care about it. But, I don't think that's an example of this. I think that Josh's company truly cares about what's correct for those people in that regard.
I agree. It's at the end of the day, if the problem was, we care about the children, we care about life and all that, there's 500,000 kids in foster care all over the country at the moment. There's stuff that needs doing, not just stuff that is going to move the needle in an election down the line. And to that point, this is going to galvanize the left to such a degree. I mean, the right was about to win midterms in a landslide, from what I could tell. And now,
probably right,
suburban women, which got Biden elected, are basically going to turn out. All of them are going to turn out. They're going to shut down the GOP in the fall. Is my take on it, anyway.
I think that people that were flippant about voting and didn't really care about what was going on, I think that you're probably right. I think that they're going to come out, and really show up in the polls.
Yeah. And then the question is, how much of a change will that make? How long have we been voting for blue people anyway? And then this happens anyway. It's demoralizing. I mean, what the hell?
Well, that's very true. And with this kind of, precedent that's been set by our current Supreme Court, the question is what's next?
Yeah.
And, you would think that outright banning abortion at a national level is, or I guess leaving it to states' rights, whatever you want to call it, in 2022 is outrageous. But I mean, there's a legitimate concern that something like gay marriage or interracial marriage or any of that stuff can also get overturned.
Yeah. And, in Russia, which is basically the most hated country on the planet at the moment, abortion is legal. A place that we associate with Stalin and authoritarianism, it's legal there and not here. What the hell is going on?
It's crazy. This
Yeah.
is truly like you would not expect something like this to happen this year. I mean, it's 2022. Like, it is absolutely crazy that a 1950s, 1960s kind of style decision is happening now. Like, you would never think that something like this could happen, but here we are.
Yeah.
I think it does highlight the importance of making your voice heard, not just when it's time for a national election for a president, but also on your local state level elections and, things like that. I think a lot of people say things like they're for smaller government and less government overreach and like less government control, right? And by taking something that is not a part of the Constitution and giving it back to the states to have the right to decide how to manage that in a way that is making the government smaller, right? Which is what some people have asked for. It's just maybe not the way they wanted it, right? And so it's really important if you want to see change on that type of thing that you get involved in your local politics, your local government voting and things like that, and not just vote every 4 years when there's a presidential election.
Facts.
I mean, it's this type of decision that really inspires young voters to pay attention, which, in a way, I mean, there are silver linings to this, right? People are going to start paying attention. People are going to get more involved. I said the same thing about the 2016 election. I genuinely think that more people are going to get involved and care about stuff like that. And it showed in 2020. It was, I think, the highest voter turnout of all time.
100%.
Right? And I mean, that stuff happens, and I we're seeing this type of change in real time, and it's pretty crazy, but I mean, that's what we're living in now, right?
Yeah. And there's huge fences around Supreme Court building in DC. You got snipers on the roof. It's madness.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for good reason. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I'm not that type of person by any means, right? Like, but with a decision like this,
It's emotional.
Absolutely. People can do some crazy stuff.
That guy, they caught somebody trying to break into Kavanaugh's house or something. Was like waiting outside his house. And now all the Supreme Court justices have 24/7 police escorts,
Which is crazy to me, by the way. But
yeah, it is.
So
it's madness.
We were talking about cynicism earlier a little bit, and one thing that does come to mind, though, is that, like, from a timing perspective, this is something that is distracting the national discussion away from gas prices and inflation and all the other things that were gaining steam. Nobody's talking about that stuff anymore.
Student loans, whatever it may
Right.
be.
When's the last time you saw an article about what's going on between Russia and the Ukraine?
It's been a minute since
been a
I've
little
seen
bit.
one featured prominently anyway.
I saw Ben Stiller meet with President Zelensky, and that's about the last I heard of it.
What? I ain't heard about that.
I still watch the Today Show on the regular in the mornings,
Oh.
and they always have a Ukraine segment. Like, they always have somebody over there doing the thing. So, but it's certainly not featured as prominently as it once was, without a doubt.
And just for the sake of argument, imagine that. I mean, why this happened is really because of the judges that got put in place under the Trump administration, right?
Yep.
And if you accept, and I'm not trying to go tinfoil hat here, but if you accept that Donald becoming president was part of a Russian psyop designed to divide us, then this is kind of the most effective outcome that they could hope for. is creating a huge legal disparity between states, where there's states where you can get abortions and states where you can't. It's just like a super emotional issue, you know?
Well, when you have a position that is appointed directly by the president that
For
has
life.
no term limit,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the nuttiest thing to me.
right? And you have, what's his name? Merrick, right?
Yeah.
Was blocked for over a year under the Obama administration in favor of Brett Kavanaugh.
Right.
And then Amy Barrett comes in at within 6 months. When was she put into office or position? I guess whatever.
Oh, I can't remember.
It was like right at the very tail end of Trump's presidency, and you had people saying, "Oh, it's the last year of election. It's not correct to put someone in office for that," and that's what they said for Merrick Garland.
Right.
But all of a sudden, Amy Barrett, they're like throwing her into the position,
Yeah.
like at the last minute. And I mean, that's how you get a stacked court. That's how you have a 6-3 disparity.
Yeah. Then you get 45-year-old precedents rolled back. Yo, that's ugly.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's there, but again, the silver lining here is stuff like this is what inspires change. At the end of the day, like, this is the type of stuff that happens, and you see the flaws in the system, and people start to notice, like the general population, not just the people that really care about this stuff by default, the people that watch Fox News 20 hours a day or whatever it might be, but the people that like don't see this on a daily basis. They see this type of stuff happening and they're like, well, how did this happen?
Yeah.
And they go back to the root, they figure it out, and that's what inspires change. That's what leads to revolution.
Yeah.
Right?
Ugh. Whoa.
What do you guys think the thing about the future worries you the most? Like when you think about things like world conflicts, like World War type stuff, and climate change, and the state of our country, and like all the different things that you could spend time worrying about, what would you say is the thing that you're most concerned will have a direct impact on you or your immediate family?
Well, I'll go first. I'm most concerned about climate change. And I think something that goes along with that is a loss of biodiversity. One of the reasons we have a stable ecosystem, stable food chain on this planet is because of biodiversity. Biodiversity is dumping, like it's just going away. And that could mean that you're going to be eating bugs or something eventually, if there are any to eat. Like that, that's kind of a macro problem. That's a problem that makes all other problems worse.
How about for you, Corey? What are you worried about?
Man, I mean, climate change is a big one. Maybe not for the same reasons that Will brought up, which is an important one. But I hail from Panama City, Florida, and as we know, they were destroyed by Hurricane Michael. And storms are only going to get stronger and stronger.
That's not all either, because you linked me to a story the other day where they had to close a bridge down because
because
it was expanding too much.
Yeah, it was expanding too much
because of the heat.
And they were scared that it was going to collapse if vehicles kept driving over it.
Yeah.
Like shit like that is happening constantly, like with the infrastructure and just, like I said, more and more powerful storms, like the tornadoes that have been ripping through places here lately, that kind of thing.
They had to shut down roads in Texas because the asphalt was melting.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously the conflicts over in the Middle East and Far East Asia.
Mm.
Is that something that you actually spend time thinking about, though?
I genuinely do, specifically the North Korea thing. Because, dude, Kim Jong is crazy.
Yeah.
And, if they develop
is he
a bomb that can...
I'm not saying he's not, right? But, are you at all concerned that your opinion of him has been shaped by people who want you to see him that way? And I'm not tinfoil hatting right now. I'm just it's hard to know what to believe, because there's so much disinformation out there, and there's so much stuff that's intended to make you think a certain way.
Sure, but I know that there people are literally starving. They have one Steam account in the country.
It's probably Kim.
It is, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like the gaming service.
Yeah, they have a map that I've seen,
And there's
literally
one.
one green dot in North Korea.
That's wild.
Wow, man. My man just wants to
I didn't
play
know
some
that.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, it just needs to, just learn some stuff from Global Strike Offensive,
Will, do you think he'd play Civilization 5 with us?
I hope so.
I bet there's a Kim Jong-un mod pack for Civ 5.
You should get nukes from the beginning. But
jeez.
they've got super limited range and have a 50% chance to backfire.
Well, and that's
And everyone hates you at the beginning. And
Yeah.
relevant point. Kim Jong, how crazy is he? We don't really know, but I think of it like a person's capacity for irrational decisions is exactly proportional to how much they have to lose. A person who has a lot to lose generally will not take big risks.
Yeah, exactly.
And he has
Basically nothing to
nothing
lose.
to lose.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for someone that's. Have you ever interacted with someone that's like literally starving,
Yeah.
like a truly starving, even like an animal, like a starving wolf?
They'll do anything.
It's the most dangerous thing you can run into,
Yeah.
right? It's because they'll do anything. It's just pure desperation, and that's,
They got a whole fucking country of them over there, bud.
propaganda aside, right? You've got people ravaged by COVID and whatever else is going on, not to mention starvation, malnutrition, right?
Right.
The average height of like a North Korean person is, I think, 6 inches less.
It's
than-
about my height.
So, moderately short.
Yeah.
But it's bad. I mean,
Yeah.
anything could happen.
Their population, what is their hope for the future? What do they have to look forward to?
That hotel opening eventually, I guess. I don't know.
That hotel looks dope, by the way.
It does, but
Yeah.
It's never gonna
who is
open.
going to go there?
Dennis Rodman?
Dennis
That's
Rodman.
it.
Yeah.
he
I was
might
just about to say that.
he might take Carmen Electra with him.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Fun fact, let me ask you a question. When Dennis Rodman went to North Korea, who sponsored him to do that?
George Bush.
No.
Well, that was my guess.
Bill Gates.
Nope.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Nope.
DJT.
Wrong.
All right.
He was sponsored by a cryptocurrency. This was in 2017. The cryptocurrency was called Potcoin. It was literally a
Yes.
marijuana-based cryptocurrency.
Man, I remember Potcoin. So people that aren't involved in the cryptocurrency game, like, you wouldn't understand something like this, but there are certain like shitter coins that you'll see come up, like they're like the hot coin of the month.
Yeah.
And they'll be relevant for literally like, sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's a month. You had like the best example I can think of is what was it called? It was Squid Coin, right?
Oh,
Remember Squid Coin?
yeah.
It was relevant for like a fucking week.
Yeah. And it was
And
gone.
it's just a big old rug pull.
And I'll tell you, when Dennis Rodman, got on TV and he had a Potcoin hat, Potcoin shirt, that day, Potcoin ran like 120%. And then that was it. It was over. It was literally a flash in the pan.
I mean, 120% is like nothing
Yeah.
in the crypto game
That's-
when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
That's a good day. That's about it.
It was a very low cap thing. If 5 people put 50 grand into it, that's going to send it like at least 30 of that percent.
All right. Well, we're
That's
gonna
my thing.
let's wait to get into the full crypto
Okay,
discussion because I
I'm
want to
sorry.
hear what you're worried about. Rob.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Most immediate potential recession and housing crash because I just bought a house.
Oh.
I can't see you going underwater on your house.
I don't think I will. I think it'll drop in value.
Even if you went underwater on your house, I don't think that would be a thing that would last very long at all. So unless you were to like be in a position where you suddenly needed to unexpectedly sell your house because you can no longer afford it for whatever reason, and now you can't really sell it because you're underwater on it. Like that would be the disaster scenario. But as long as you are still gainfully employed and able to continue to afford your mortgage payment, even if it were to dip below what you paid for it, it's not going to, like, housing prices are not ever going to go down to like 25% of what they are today for any sort of sustainable amount of time.
Yeah, and I don't think they will either. But, when it comes down to it, right, and I should have put more into this whenever I said that, because that's just a blanket statement, and it's really easy to say, like, oh, yeah, I mean, housing prices are not going to go down. And that's true. I don't think they're going to go down that much, especially in the area. But, in the luxury sales game, or just in sales in general, in times of recession or really any times of volatility where people are not sure what the market's going to do, not sure what their money is going to be worth from a day-to-day basis, there is naturally going to be less spending involved. People are going to hold on to their money more, right? And if I'm in a sales game that's, largely commission-based, it is less likely that my paycheck is going to be higher than it's been in the past. And with inflation being higher, plus people spending less money, which means I make less money, it's just going to be tighter all around. And with housing pricing potentially dipping on top of that, I mean, it's kind of like it's not good on any front, is basically what I'm saying.
Would you mind if I riff on that for a minute? Like,
sure.
There's another scenario, and it's always overlooked, mainly because it's never happened here in America, which is, instead of your house declining in price significantly, right, and you being underwater, quote unquote, imagine instead that the price of your house goes up a lot, like insanely, to the point where it's definitely not, like, no one's going to buy it. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And in that scenario, one of two things have happened. Either the value of a dollar has decreased precipitously, right? Or people are just, like, totally screwed around the world. Like, there's no, there's just no, it's a liquidity crisis, basically.
The point that you're making about the possibility of the dollar being devalued to that point is actually the thing that I am most imminently worried about. I would not want to be involved in a wartime scenario, right? I wouldn't want my kids to get older and have to go off to war, and I wouldn't want there to be war on my doorstep. Like, I wouldn't want to have to worry about my neighborhood getting bombed or anything like that. But that seems like something that is far less likely to happen than a disastrous collapse of the economy in such a way that my quality of life will have to change very, very, very dramatically just to stay alive. I could see a scenario where, like, a very significant amount of the country is living in poverty because of an economic collapse. And I think about, like, the way successful people who are wealthy manage their money versus people who show their money, but, like, people that are house poor, car poor, whatever, that, like, spend way more than they have to keep up appearances. And the same thing with corporations that are poorly managed from a financial standpoint. I think back to, obviously we've talked on the show before about being in electronics. And I think about companies like H.H. Gregg that were very, very cash heavy. They didn't have very many physical assets, and they didn't have good company credit. And so they used cash to, like, expand rapidly. And they expanded much faster than what was responsible. And that's ultimately what caused their collapse, because they weren't managing their money responsibly. And so I think about America kind of doing the same thing, the national debt going up so significantly and things being mismanaged just really, really badly. And so the economic stuff is what I think is the most immediate major threat, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, imagine for a moment that, okay, so the Fed, they have like, trillions. I think it's $9 trillion worth of mortgage-backed securities that they have to sell. And they're going to sell them at like $40 billion of them a month for the next 3 months. And then after that, it's going to be like 60 or 70 billion per month. That's like going to take more than a decade to unwind, Nobody knows how that's going to shake out because it's never happened before.
And who do you think is going to buy those?
And that's the thing. No one. Like, if they know that sell pressure is going to be there, there's not going to be any bids,
China.
Bruh.
China.
Oh, my God.
Can we just buy bonds?
Yeah,
Like long-term war bonds?
sure. I mean, I hadn't thought about that. That's an idea. Treasury bonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Just invest in bonds.
I'm not going to. I mean,
Do you know what that means, though?
Yes.
Like, if you don't believe that the U.S. economy is stable long term, seems like that's not a good thing to
The
invest
opposite of what you would want to do.
I think long-term is a relative term.
well, when you buy a bond, it's like a 10-year or 30-year.
Yeah.
And that is a good strategy to hedge risk, It's placement. You're placing money. But I don't know. I'm not doing that. It's a good time to do it,
in.
but
You're mitigating risk, assuming that you're putting it in a safe place. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is I don't know that it's a safe place.
yeah. Because you're investing in a system that is run by human beings, basically.
Run poorly.
Yeah. I mean, as of late, that has been very evident, I mean, originally, Bitcoin, well, not originally, but in 2016, when it became clear that Donald was going to win, Bitcoin was around $1,000, and 3 months later, it was a lot more. And by the end of 2017, it was 20 grand. Now, I the timing may be a coincidence, but I think people saw that, a game show host got elected president, and they were like, well, why don't we invest in something that isn't run by something that can be compromised by social engineering and, mass, bot spamming on social networks and stuff? Something that has integrity that can't be compromised, something that's not negotiable.
I don't know that it can't be impacted by social engineering, though. I think that.
About to say, I'm pretty sure I've seen many an ad featuring one Matt Damon saying
Yeah.
that fortune favors the brave.
Yeah.
That was at that was
Crypto.com.
Yeah, that was the top. That was literally the top. That was like $60,000+ Bitcoin. That was your sign to sell.
Yeah. So obviously, good investors sell the top or as close to it as they can. They buy the dip. What is it that you say?
Buy the
rumor, sell the news.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you buy when people are fearful, and you sell when people are feeling fat and happy.
And the very best investors, I guess technically, would be the Warren Buffetts of the world, who just hardly ever sell anything. They just keep buying. They just never sell. And then the things that they got appreciate, and then they borrow against those things to buy even more stuff. And they just do this over and over forever. I don't know. I'm not playing that game. But it's probably the smartest one to play. It's probably the smartest strategy.
If you believe that, though, and you believe in their principles, then, like, foundationally, Bitcoin is not what Warren Buffett would consider an investment. In fact, he's been pretty vocal
Yeah,
against cryptocurrencies in general.
100%.
But we're getting pretty close to the end of this episode, and it's obviously been a different episode, but do you want to tell us a little bit right now, Will, about your sentiment on where Bitcoin is today and where you think it's going, what you've been doing recently with it, and
Sure.
give a little disclaimer here. This is not financial advice.
This is not financial advice.
DYOR, do your own research, but
Yeah.
here's what Will has to say.
And this isn't financial advice. I say this mostly because I've done well. I don't know, either because I'm lucky or because I just spend a lot of time on it. Probably a little bit of both. But at present, Bitcoin is like, I want to say it. Before this show started, it was 21 grand. Hang on a second, I gotta look. Yeah, it's $21,400. And about a week ago, it had just impacted the 20K mark, which is the previous all-time high from 2017. Bounced off of it, as support. And then after that bounce, it came back down to 20K, retested it, and went below 20K, went to 17,800. Now, the question is, why did it do that? And I know the reason. And the reason is because once it gets below, a lot of people on the way up added to leverage positions to the point where they're like, okay, if it goes below 20K, I'm going to get liquidated and I'm going to lose my position. I'll be forced to sell at a loss. And that's what happened. Once it broke under 20K, what you saw was forced selling. It's basically a bunch of people selling all at once against their will. Basically getting margin called. That's what sent it down so fast.
The other option for them, though, would have been if they had it, to put up more capital.
Right. Yeah. But they didn't have any more. It seems. Probably a lot of people who didn't get liquidated did exactly that. It probably would have gone a lot lower if people were more leveraged. But when people ask, hey, why did it go under 20K? That's why. It's because somebody pushed it down just far enough to set off people's stop losses and people's margin call levels, and that's what dropped it below that level. That's why, when that event was over, right? This is a transient, very fast event. It came back to 20, and now it's at 21. Now it may go back down. Still, we don't know. But I've been adding over the past, I guess, week and a half, 2 weeks, like a little bit every day. I've just been nibbling at it. And the lower it goes, the bigger the nibbles. That's basically it. And then this morning I bought 1.5 Bitcoin this morning because I was just like, whatever, I need to increase this position. I didn't buy enough.
That's a pretty big nibble.
It's a big nibble. That's like 31 grand. Shit. Yeah.
It's better not to think about it that way. It's better to think that you have 1.5 Bitcoins, and you can go back to your philosophy from years back where you used to say that you'll never have less than 1 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right. But there was a time where you did have less than 1 Bitcoin.
It was. When Matt Damon got on TV, I was at 0 Bitcoin, had been at 0 Bitcoin for like 6 months at that point.
Yep.
So
you were not a true believer?
No.
You were not a Michael Saylor?
Definitely not. But Michael Saylor wasn't even Michael Saylor at that point.
No, I agree. And you haven't heard much about him recently. Like, it's so funny to me that these people advertise their buys so heavily whenever the prices are soaring, and then you don't hear a peep from them when the prices are down.
Yeah.
And part of that may be strategic. Maybe they're pumping their bags while they're up high so they can unload some and make some profit.
Oh,
right?
100%. That is.
And
what
then when it's low, they're quietly like collecting all of your tiers.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. That is the plan. That's how you get it done. 100%. If you're, human emotion is the most consistent decider of price action in markets.
Yeah. And you and I talked the other day via text that fundamentally nothing has changed about Bitcoin recently, right?
Yes.
So if you believed in Bitcoin before, it's just on sale now,
Yes.
right? And the impact of Bitcoin pricing is the same as the impact of every other market, right? Everything is down right now.
100%.
So you should be, if you believe in Bitcoin, now is the time to buy, right? Don't wait until it goes back up to 60K to start buying. That's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, this is, I told you the other day, this is the type of market where, like, you get new emperors, right?
Yes.
This is when boys become men.
It's
Yeah.
true. And
It's,
by that same token, I would be equally wary of waiting for a lower area to buy at. Like if you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy at 10K, I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy at 13K.
don't be greedy.
You don't know if it will go there. This is why I buy in little nibbles. I generally will only put $2,000 into anything on a given day. I try to average into pretty much anything. The fact that I, bought more than 10 times that much today is a crazy outlier. But
That's the direct result of lots of weed.
yeah, maybe it might have something to do with it.
But no, for those of you listening in the audience, go ahead and Google dollar cost averaging and read up on that. And it's sort of the same thing as what Will's talking about. If you try to time the market perfectly, you're always going to be wrong. Like,
Yeah.
unless you happen to be lucky once or twice, maybe you're lucky once or twice. But in general, if you buy consistently, regular intervals, regular amounts, and things like that, then that's a pretty good way to do it.
And I think of it like this. I have a rule. I keep a little Post-it note on my monitor that says, are you making a decision out of fear or greed? Because it's always out of one of those two. It's not like you can't make a decision out of fear and greed at the same time. You have to pick one to just submit to.
Do you know what I think would be really funny, Will?
What?
If you got some Spock ears and every time you sat down at your computer, you put the Spock ears on,
Yeah.
and you can't use your computer unless you're wearing the Spock ears, and those ears help you remember to be logical at all times,
Yeah. But even
like a Vulcan.
you're right. And that is impossible to do is the thing. You have to make a decision to take a risk. And generally I do that out of greed because I trust my I trust greed a lot more than I trust fear. Fear has lost me a lot of money. Greed has helped me a lot more than that has. So that's true.
Well, cool.
Well met.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you. You bought VeChain
I did. lot
back in 17.
Yep.
And your percent returns on that were like what 500, 600%, something like that.
It was closer to like 1,300%.
1,300, just insane. Okay.
Yeah. The only move that I've ever made that was more than that was Tronix,
Oh my God.
because Tronix was whenever I bought it at less than a penny per unit, and
So-
I sold it at about 26 cents.
Oh
per
my
unit.
God. So let me ask you this. When you made the decision to buy those things, did you do that out of fear or out of greed?
I'm gonna use Tronix as my example. I saw Tronix at less than a penny and thought to myself, if I put in $1,000, I can get like 1 million of this shit.
That's greed.
That's cool. So I bought 1 million of it for
Yeah.
$1,000.
Yeah.
And I sold it for like 25 grand.
Yeah.
And
That-
it was great.
That's greed.
Yeah, it's true.
When you buy things out of being like, oh, this is going to go this high, I'm afraid of missing that generally will get you in trouble. But if you are using your imagination being like, oh my God, I got 1 million of these things, and if it goes to 20 cents, I'm going to have Lambos, that's
Yeah.
greed. And I just trust that more. The hit rate is way better for that.
So should we
I
buy
agree.
a bunch of Shiba Inu right now?
Maybe.
which is at 0.000012 cents
That
right now.
SHIB coin.
Maybe. I don't
Wanna
know.
Buy some SHIB?
I don't have any.
Nor should you, for the record.
The guy that that works at the gas station that I use most frequently, he made over $100,000 on the SHIB. He literally runs the counter at the gas station, and he is down huge right now. And last time I saw him, he was like, "Man, I should have listened to you, man." I'm like, "What did I say to you? I haven't talked to you about this." Anyway, but
He watches your stream.
What does he say when you've told me about this in the past? I don't know if you've told the stream. But
yeah,
he goes in and says something like,
what's
"Brother."
up, brother?
Yeah, that's it.
That's what he said every time.
That shit's so fucking good.
Yo, he's cool.
Yeah,
I'll take you to meet him if you want to meet him.
of course I do.
But based on his sentiment, right? His sentiment at 45K was buying more. Buys more Bitcoin, more Shiba. And at this point, he's like, "Man, I should have bought a house. I would have doubled my money by now. And instead, I've lost like $80,000. You know, that's where he's at. So to me, that is an indication that, sentiment is low. It is time
He's
to
on suicide watch.
accumulate.
I was gonna say it's time to buy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what that means.
Precisely.
Well, I think that if anyone in our audience is a talented artist, please hit us up on any of our socials at Appleboys Pod or join us on Discord at discord.gg/Appleboys. You'll be able to communicate with all the Appleboys, and including our regular guest, Will, inside the Discord server. But any of you guys are artists, I'd like to see a cartoon caricature of what you believe Will to look like. And I'd like to preface this by saying that I see him as like our guru of the group. I see him as like a small, meditating, floating man.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I hope we can get that. But
Please.
I think we've rambled on enough tonight. So what do you guys think? Are we ready to wrap this thing up?
I think Mr. Announcer Man is primed and ready.
Yeah, you've been pumping the well back there, getting him ready.
Yeah,
I've been pumping all right.
Been pumping something, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Today was fun. Good times.
Every day is fun. And
Thanks for joining us,
appreciate
Will.
you.
We appreciate you
Thank
filling
you.
on a short notice.
Oh, no.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, Will, how do we close these things out? What do you say?
Happy tonight.
Happy tonight.
Happy tonight, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Happy tonight.
You've been listening to the Appleboys podcast. I know. We're badass. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, especially premium subscribers. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on Discord at discord.gg/Appleboys, on the website at appleboys.us, and Twitter and Facebook at Appleboys Pod. Happy tonight.